For many, visiting Alaska is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The various excursions that one can take make this state a premier destination. Gold panning, hiking, flight seeing, and fishing are just a few attractions that cruise passengers want to take advantage of. Of course, you want to make the most out of your day in port, whether it's in Skagway, Juneau, or Ketchikan. Tourism peaks from May through September with the cruise traffic coming in. Be mindful that even though you might be eager to do everything and anything when you visit Alaska, crowds will be present in this season. With this in mind, we always like to encourage our guests to book their excursions sooner rather than later. But we understand that life happens. It is possible to snag seats at the last minute, although highly anticipated tours such as the helicopter and dog sled glacier excursion will be hard to nab. Here's some of our recommendations for some tours that you can book last minute. At the height of the Klondike Gold Rush, the port town of Skagway served as the gateway to the legendary gold fields and quickly grew into Alaska's largest settlement. During its peak, Skagway was a boom town packed with trading posts and saloons. Today, there are several Skagway excursions that showcase the town's colorful past. We have a few sightseeing tours that have high availability and that parallel the train via the scenic Klondike Highway. A Skagway excursion that has a lot of availability is the White Pass Summit and City Tour. Your guide will detail the gold rush history of this small town during the 19th century and stop at the Canadian border. Take a scenic drive through the town of Skagway and up to the famous White Pass Summit. Your guide will stop every 20 to 25 minutes at scenic locations and historic landmarks such as Pitchfork Falls, Moore Creek Bridge, and Tormented Valley. Like the sound of the White Pass Summit and City Tour, but want to venture a bit further into Canada? Check out the Yukoner half-day tour to Yukon, an opportunity to take the road less traveled. On this scenic drive, you'll follow the footsteps of Klondike stampeders, and your guide will tell stories of the characters who made up Skagway's colorful past. This Skagway excursion features historic points of interest such as the Yukon Suspension Bridge, Welcome to Alaska sign, and the Yukon border sign. After passing the summit of the White Pass at 3,290 feet, you'll continue onwards into Canada. There is no shortage of wildlife either. Guests have seen mountain goats, marmots, moose, and even bears. When your Skagway excursion ends, visit the Klondike Gold Rush National Historic Park to learn about the local gold rush history. The National Historic District covers 6 blocks of downtown Skagway, and it features conserved buildings, museums, and ranger-led tours dedicated to preserving the legacy of stampeders. Ready to grab a bite? Be sure to check out Skagway Brewing Co. This sustainable restaurant reopened in a new location in 2019. The 3rd floor even has a year-round farm. As the only state capital in America inaccessible by road, Juneau is home to beautiful glacier and mountain views. Juneau is also the best port for whale watching. You might be thinking, I'll be on a cruise ship, I'll be seeing lots of whales. Why should I get back on the water? Well, we guarantee whale sightings on our tours or your money back. It's not uncommon to see sea lions, harbor seals, and bald eagles on these tours. Look out for whales breaching. This is an incredible sight when a whale lifts most of its body out of the water. There are tens of thousands of glaciers in the state of Alaska. The Mendenhall Glacier is part of the Tongass National Forest and is considered a roadside glacier that can be easily accessed. It is a very popular tourist destination, so popular in fact that an entire visitor center was built for it. Interested? Take a look at the Glacier Shuttle Tour, where guests are able to learn about the history of Juneau and how it became a historic mining town. This sightseeing tour is narrated by a local guide who will bring you to the glacier's visitor center, conveniently located just 12 miles from downtown Juneau. The visitor center has informative displays and videos about the Juneau icefield, large windows with binoculars to get a better look at the face of the glacier, and a gift shop. This tour includes 2 hours at the visitor center itself. Interested in those whales? Our whale watching tour takes place at Auk Bay Harbor, where guests board either a 24-passenger jet boat or a 49-passenger catamaran before exploring the local waterways looking for wildlife. Don't worry if the weather is cold and rainy. Both of these boats have enclosed heated cabins with wide viewing windows. Be sure to get your camera ready, as over 150 humpback whales have been officially documented in the protected waters around Juneau. It's easy to spot the whales as they feed in these nutrient-rich waters no matter what time of day. If you have time, check out the Alaska State Museum. This museum is a must-see and rotates through different exhibits throughout the season. The permanent collection is culturally educational and includes displays that detail the history of Alaska. In addition, most cruise ships dock near Mount Roberts Tram. Before you get back on the ship, take a ride up on the tram. On a clear day, this experience can offer incredible views. At the top, there's a nature center as well as some hiking trails where wildlife viewing platforms are located. Sprinkled with totem poles of Alaska's native nations, Ketchikan has an active native arts community and a rich culture. With a wide variety of tour types, Ketchikan has something for everyone. Ziplining through the rainforest, touring the Misty Fjords National Monument, and trying your hand at halibut fishing are all popular activities in this port town. However, if you're looking for something with high availability, take a look at these excursions. If you're interested in wildlife viewing on your Alaska tour and would like to book something last minute, check out the Hovercraft Eco Adventure and Wildlife Viewing Tour. This tour is extremely unique in that you'll be hard-pressed to find a similar experience. Upon boarding the Blackbird hovercraft, your naturalist guide will educate you on the 20-inch air cushion that makes this excursion eco-friendly while pointing out marine life. The area is rich with wildlife, allowing guests the opportunity to observe sea lions, bald eagles, and migrating birds. The captain will have you fly above the waves and along the shoreline of Ketchikan before stopping at a secluded beach, where you'll learn about the species native to the region and have a chance to take photos. You weren't able to get on that helicopter tour in Juneau or Skagway? Well, look no further than the Top of the World helicopter tour. Take in all that Ketchikan has to offer from the air with your pilot as a guide. This narrated sightseeing tour will show you the landscape from a different perspective, and you will see the Tongass Narrows, the Canadian Rockies, and the town of Ketchikan. This sightseeing tour highlights a landing on the tallest peak on Annette Island for stunning 360 views. And after your tour is over, this port town is known as the salmon capital of the world, and starting in July, the salmon make their way back up the river that runs through Ketchikan in order to get back to the place they were born, known as the Salmon Run. The salmon's last act of life will be to spawn. You can see this phenomenon on Creek Street, a boardwalk built over Ketchikan Creek. Visitors can also shop for souvenirs and local art. A good guideline that we have for booking last minute is to find tours that have frequent availability, regardless of how many ships are in port that day. All of the tours mentioned are easy to book at the last minute and promise a memorable experience. When you book with us, we donate 5% of our profits to the Alaska Conservation Foundation. Even if you're already on the ship, go ahead and contact us at Alaska Shore Tours and book your next Alaska adventure today.